Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the explosive developments coming your way this Thursday, December 25th, as Port Charles prepares for a Christmas that promises to be anything but peaceful. The holiday season brings danger, unexpected visitors, and emotional revelations that will leave several beloved characters facing uncertain futures. Jack Brennan's deadly intentions. The tension surrounding Britt Westburn continues to escalate as Jack Brennan makes a chilling phone call that could seal her fate. Standing outside in the cold December air, phone pressed against his ear, Jack delivers what appears to be a sinister directive to someone on the other end of the line. His words cut through the festive atmosphere like a knife. Are we ready to pull the trigger on Britt Westburn? The question hangs heavy with implication, leaving viewers to wonder whether this is merely a bureaucratic expression about moving forward with an investigation or something far more deadly. Brennan's suspicions regarding Britt have been mounting steadily since her miraculous return from the dead. The former WSB agent has never been one to accept convenient explanations, and Britt's reappearance alongside Nathan West has raised multiple red flags in his analytical mind. His extensive knowledge of her previous employment at the notorious Five Poppies clinic has only deepened his mistrust. The intelligence he's gathered suggests a possible connection between Britt and the dangerous Jen Sidwell, with mounting evidence pointing to her involvement in Professor Henry Dalton's mysterious laboratory operations. The real question becomes whether Brennan is prepared to cross the line from investigation to elimination. His history with covert operations means he's no stranger to making difficult decisions that exist in moral gray areas. Is this phone call authorizing a literal hit on Britt, complete with professional operatives moving into position? Or is it simply his way of saying he's ready to bring her in for intensive questioning, perhaps using methods that skirt the boundaries of legality? Given Brennan's track record, either scenario remains disturbingly plausible. Hospital conversations and hidden fears. Inside General Hospital's sterile corridors, Lucas Jones finds Britt and proceeds to update her on recent developments. The two medical professionals stand together as Lucas shares critical information, his expression grave and concerned. He informs her that police authorities have announced an official ceasefire, though the context of this truce remains somewhat unclear. Most likely, he's referencing the tentative peace established between Rocco Falconeri and his father Dante, who currently serves as acting police commissioner. The family dynamics within the Falconeri household have created ripples throughout the entire Port Charles law enforcement community. As Lucas speaks, viewers can't help but notice the subtle shifts in Britt's demeanor. Her body language betrays an underlying nervousness, a tension that goes beyond simple concern about local police matters. Her eyes dart occasionally, as if calculating potential escape routes or assessing hidden threats. Is this paranoia justified by Brennan's lurking presence, or does she possess knowledge of other dangers closing in around her? Perhaps she's anticipating the inevitable moment when her past catches up with her present, when the secrets she's been guarding so carefully come spilling out into the open. The timing of this conversation couldn't be more precarious. With Christmas Day bringing families together throughout Port Charles, Britt finds herself increasingly isolated, aware that her web of deceptions may be approaching its breaking point. Every shadow seems to hold potential danger. Every unexpected phone call could be the one that changes everything. Lucas, unaware of the full depth of her predicament, continues offering information that only serves to heighten her anxiety. Portia's painful realization. Elsewhere in Port Charles, Portia Robinson grapples with a heartbreaking question that many parents face. I'm kidding myself, aren't I? The words escape her lips as she contemplates the fractured state of her relationship with Trina. She might be confiding in her close friend Ava Jerome, who has stood by her side through recent legal tribulations, or perhaps she's opening up to Isaiah Gannon, whose presence in her life has become increasingly significant. The reality Portia must confront is particularly agonizing because it strikes at the core of her identity as a mother. Curtis Ashford's blunt assessment that Trina needs space echoed in her mind, a truth she's been desperately trying to avoid acknowledging. The distance between mother and daughter has grown into a chasm that simple apologies cannot bridge. Years of well-intentioned but ultimately damaging decisions have created barriers that now seem insurmountable. Trina's upcoming attempt to make amends adds another layer of complexity to this already fraught situation. Will she extend an olive branch to Portia, or will her efforts be directed elsewhere? The spoilers suggest movement toward reconciliation, but the path forward remains treacherous and uncertain. Portia's acknowledgement that she might be fooling herself about maintaining their relationship represents a crucial moment of clarity, even as it breaks her heart. Sometimes acceptance of painful truths is the first step toward genuine healing, though that healing may look very different from what she originally envisioned. Cody's Christmas crisis. In a lighter, but no less urgent storyline, Cody Bell finds himself in the throes of holiday shopping panic. Staring at his phone with growing horror, he exclaims, "No, no, no, this package cannot be delayed." The special Christmas gift he ordered quite possibly for Molly Lansing Davis represents far more than mere material goods. After months of dancing around their feelings, exchanging loaded glances, and navigating the complicated terrain of denial and flirtation, Cody and Molly finally shared their first kiss. That magical moment changed everything between them, transforming friendship into something deeper and infinitely more precious. The irony of the situation isn't lost on anyone familiar with holiday shipping patterns. Package delays during the Christmas season are practically inevitable. Yet Cody seems genuinely shocked that such a thing could happen to him. His near panic suggests that this particular gift carries enormous emotional weight. Perhaps it's something deeply personal, carefully selected to convey feelings he struggled to express verbally. Maybe it's connected to Molly's Western novel, for which she used him as her muse, creating a fictional character inspired by his rugged charm and complicated past. The timing couldn't be worse. After so many missed signals and painful misunderstandings that nearly derailed their connection before it truly began, Cody finally has the chance to demonstrate his commitment. A belated Christmas gift, however thoughtful, risks undermining the sincerity of his intentions. Will Molly understand that logistics, rather than negligence, caused the delay? Or will this become yet another obstacle in their already complicated journey toward love? Father and son advice. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos assumes his familiar role as counselor and guide, this time directing his wisdom toward Dante. His advice is straightforward and pointed. Dante needs to prove to Rocco that he's truly there for him. The recent tree trimming session with Joe Palmieri included showed some promise, creating moments of connection and normalcy. However, everyone involved recognizes that superficial gestures cannot erase months of accumulated mistakes and broken trust. Dante's parenting missteps with both his sons have created damage that won't heal overnight. The rifts formed slowly, brick by brick, through missed opportunities, broken promises, and choices that prioritized work over family. Undoing that damage requires equal patience and dedication. Sonny, speaking from his own extensive experience with complicated father-son relationships, understands that there are no quick fixes or magical solutions. The process of rebuilding trust is gradual, requiring consistent effort over an extended period. The challenge is compounded by the fact that genuine reconciliation requires cooperation from all parties involved. Trust cannot be forced or manufactured through good intentions alone. Rocco must be willing to forgive, Dante must be willing to change his patterns, and everyone must commit to honest communication even when it's uncomfortable. The path forward demands vulnerability and patience from everyone involved. Unexpected attic encounter. At Carly's house, the Christmas season takes an unexpectedly dramatic turn when Valentine Casadini finds himself discovered in the most unlikely of places. He's positioned in the attic, gazing at a small Christmas tree, when little Donna Corinthos stumbles upon him. His surprised exclamation of "Oh!" captures the awkwardness of being caught somewhere he clearly shouldn't be. The question becomes how he'll explain his presence to an innocent child who deserves honesty but also requires protection from dangerous truths. Valentine's experience raising Charlotte Casadini may prove invaluable in this delicate moment. He remembers the art of crafting believable stories for young minds, tales that satisfy curiosity without revealing complicated adult realities. Will he transform himself into one of Santa's elves, conducting a pre-Christmas chimney inspection to ensure smooth delivery of presents? Such creative fabrication would be entirely in character for someone who has spent years navigating between truth and deception. The real intrigue lies in Carly's potential response to this situation. Spoilers hint that she may take a significant risk, possibly deciding to let Donna in on the secret of Valentin's presence. Such a decision would represent enormous trust in both Valentine and her daughter's ability to keep confidences. It would also create a bond of shared knowledge between them, one that could have far-reaching implications as future events unfold in Port Charles. Next, we will learn about the explosive paternity drama that threatens to tear apart multiple families in Port Charles as Portia Robinson finds herself trapped in yet another devastating web of secrets and lies that could destroy everything she holds dear. The weight of history repeating. Portia Robinson stands at a critical crossroads, and the haunting echoes of her past mistakes are reverberating louder than ever before. She proclaims to anyone who will listen that transparency and honesty are her guiding principles this time around. Yet the reality tells a starkly different story. The seasoned doctor, who has witnessed countless life-changing moments in the halls of General Hospital, now faces a personal crisis that could rival any medical emergency she has ever encountered. Despite her repeated assurances that she wants to handle this situation with complete integrity and unwavering truth, Portia has inexplicably failed to inform Curtis Ashford about the earth-shattering possibility that the precious life growing inside her might not be his biological child. This glaring omission speaks volumes about her internal struggle and the paralyzing fear that grips her heart whenever she contemplates having that brutal conversation. The situation grows more complicated with each passing day as Trina Robinson, Portia's beloved daughter, has already become emotionally invested in the joyous idea of welcoming a new sibling into their family. Trina's excitement is palpable and genuine, making the potential fallout even more devastating. The young woman has no idea that dark clouds are gathering on the horizon, threatening to unleash a storm that could shatter her world once again. Many observers in Port Charles believe it is merely a matter of time before this delicate situation spirals completely out of control. And when it does, ironically, it may very well be Trina herself who inadvertently becomes the catalyst that exposes the devastating truth to everyone involved. A troubled past that refuses to stay buried. The ghosts of Portia's previous deception continue to haunt her every waking moment, serving as a constant reminder of the destruction that lies can cause. She has walked this treacherous path before, and the scars from that journey run deep in her soul. Years ago, when faced with a similar dilemma, Portia made the catastrophic decision to bury the truth about Trina's biological father. She actively avoided confronting the uncomfortable reality that the beautiful baby girl she brought into the world could have been fathered by another man. Instead, she allowed Marcus Taggart, her then husband and a devoted partner, to embrace the role of father to a child who was never truly his by blood. This prolonged deception created a foundation of lies that would eventually crumble, bringing immeasurable pain to everyone involved. The emotional devastation that eventually erupted from that revelation was nothing short of cataclysmic for their entire extended family. Taggart felt betrayed and robbed of years he could have spent processing the truth. Trina experienced a profound identity crisis that shook her to her core. Curtis struggled with feelings of anger, confusion, and loss. The recovery process was agonizingly slow and painful, requiring more than a full year of dedicated work, difficult conversations, and gradual rebuilding of trust before Portia and Curtis could even begin to find their way back to each other. They had finally managed to reach a place of stability and genuine happiness, their relationship growing stronger with each passing day, only to have it all come crashing down once more when they were on the cusp of something truly beautiful. The cruel irony is not lost on anyone paying attention to this unfolding drama. History appears poised to repeat itself in the most devastating way possible, regardless of which man ultimately proves to be the biological father of this unborn child. Portia finds herself in an impossible position where delivering heartbreaking news to someone is absolutely inevitable. There is no scenario in which everyone walks away unscathed. Furthermore, though she may never admit it publicly, Portia must harbor private hopes and preferences about which outcome she secretly desires. Deep in her heart, she cannot possibly be completely neutral about whether Curtis or Isaiah is the father, and that internal bias adds another layer of complexity to an already impossibly tangled situation. Two men, one desperate hope. While Portia wrestles with her own conflicted desires and mounting anxiety, both potential fathers have their own powerful motivations and emotional investments in this life-changing outcome. Isaiah Gannon has made his feelings abundantly clear through both his words and actions. His yearning for fatherhood is not merely a passing fancy, but a profound, soul-deep desire that defines much of who he is as a man. Just last week, Portia witnessed firsthand the pure, unfiltered joy that illuminated Isaiah's entire being when the conversation turned to the prospect of having his own child. The way his eyes lit up, the passion in his voice, and the depth of emotion he displayed left no doubt about the significance this holds for him. During that memorable conversation, Isaiah opened up to Portia about his own father and the powerful legacy of love and dedication that shaped him. He spoke eloquently and movingly about his burning desire to continue that legacy by becoming a father himself, someone who would pour everything he is into raising and nurturing his child. He painted a vivid picture of the kind of dad he aspires to be, committed to being present, supportive, and devoted in ways that would honor his family's tradition. Portia found herself deeply moved by his sincerity and commitment, resonating with every word he spoke. This emotional connection makes the potential fallout even more painful to contemplate. If the paternity test reveals that this baby is not Isaiah's biological child, Portia can already envision the crushing disappointment that will shatter his dreams. The depth of pain he will experience cuts her to her core even in anticipation. Meanwhile, back in Port Charles, Curtis Ashford remains blissfully unaware of the storm brewing just beyond his field of vision. He operates under the comforting but false assumption that Portia is simply being cared for by a trusted friend at the Metro Court, recovering from whatever difficulties led her to seek that refuge. More significantly, he has absolutely no reason to question his belief that the baby Portia carries is unquestionably his own child. The thought that there might be another possibility, another potential father in the picture, has never even crossed his mind. When the truth finally comes to light, as it inevitably must, Curtis will be completely blindsided by the revelation. The shock and betrayal he will feel at learning not only that Isaiah exists as a possibility, but that Portia has been lying to him about her whereabouts and activities, will compound the emotional damage exponentially. Portia's ongoing deception about how she is spending her time and who she is with creates multiple opportunities for Curtis to discover the truth in the most painful way possible. Every lie she tells, every misdirection she offers, builds a house of cards that grows increasingly unstable, with both Curtis and Isaiah privately praying and hoping with every fiber of their being that this child is theirs. The emotional stakes could not possibly be higher. This desperate desire from both men introduces another troubling possibility that no one has fully considered yet. In their desperation to secure the outcome they each want so desperately, either Curtis or Isaiah might be tempted to take matters into their own hands. Could one of them potentially interfere with the paternity test to ensure it delivers the result that aligns with their deepest wishes? The thought is disturbing, but not beyond the realm of possibility, given the enormous stakes involved. Trina's investigative nature could crack everything wide open. Perhaps the most intriguing and potentially explosive element of this entire complicated mess involves Trina Robinson and her well-established tendency to dig deep when something does not feel quite right to her. Consider how this storyline might ultimately unfold in a way that no one sees coming. This time around, imagine that Portia actually does decide to be honest and transparent, at least from her own perspective. She orders a legitimate paternity test, follows all the proper procedures, and when the results come back indicating who the father is, she accepts those results at face value. Having learned from her previous mistakes, Portia might genuinely believe she has done everything correctly this time and that the truth, whatever it may be, has finally been revealed through proper scientific channels. However, what Portia may not realize or consider is that doing everything right on her end does not guarantee that the results she receives are accurate and untampered. Someone else, motivated by their own desperate desires and fears, could have interfered with the testing process without her knowledge. They could have manipulated samples, bribed lab technicians, or found any number of ways to ensure the test produces the outcome they desire rather than revealing the biological truth. As time passes and the reality of the situation begins to settle in, subtle inconsistencies might start to emerge that catch someone's attention. That someone will likely be Trina, whose sharp mind and investigative instincts have never failed her when something feels off. While others might accept the test results and move forward, Trina's natural skepticism and attention to detail could lead her to notice things that others miss. Perhaps physical characteristics of the baby once born do not align with the supposed father's traits. Maybe medical information does not quite add up, or possibly she overhears a suspicious conversation or stumbles across evidence that plants seeds of doubt in her mind. The fascinating twist here is that Trina might initially assume any deception comes from her mother. Given Portia's history of hiding the truth about paternity, she could believe her mother is once again lying to protect someone or avoid difficult conversations, never suspecting that Curtis or Isaiah might be the ones who actually manipulated the situation. The inevitable scandal that will rock Port Charles. One thing remains absolutely certain as this dramatic storyline continues to unfold. There is virtually no conceivable scenario in which this paternity situation does not explode into a massive, reputation-destroying scandal that impacts multiple families and reverberates throughout the entire community. The question is not whether a scandal will occur, but rather when, how, and who will be the person to finally expose the truth to the harsh light of day. Will it be Portia herself, finally summoning the courage to come clean before the lies consume her completely? Could it be Trina, piecing together clues and confronting the people involved with her discoveries? Perhaps Curtis or Isaiah will uncover the truth through their own investigations, leading to a dramatic confrontation that no one will soon forget. The emotional fallout from this revelation, whenever and however it comes, promises to be absolutely devastating for everyone involved. Relationships that have been carefully rebuilt over years of hard work will crumble in an instant. Trust that seemed solid will prove to be built on foundations of sand. Trina will once again be forced to question everything she thought she knew about her family and the people she loves most. Curtis will have to reckon with yet another betrayal from the woman he has tried so hard to trust and love despite past deceptions. Isaiah will face either the crushing disappointment of learning the child is not his, or the complicated reality of suddenly becoming a father in the midst of chaos and scandal. The residents of Port Charles will watch this drama unfold with a mixture of sympathy and fascination, as they have witnessed so many similar situations play out over the years in their complicated community. Some will judge Portia harshly for repeating past mistakes, while others will offer compassion for a woman trapped in an impossible situation. Regardless of individual reactions, one thing is certain: this paternity scandal will dominate conversations at the hospital, the Metro Court, and everywhere else people gather in Port Charles for weeks or even months to come, cementing its place in the community's collective memory as yet another example of how secrets and lies inevitably destroy the lives of those who keep them.